Hi, in this video we're going to find the volume of a prism where you've had a prism removed from it. And just to remind you, a prism is just a 3D solid such that wherever you chop it, you always see the same shape, which is called a cross section. And you remember that the volume of a prism, if I just draw a little diagram here, the volume of a prism is equal to the cross-sectional area, we call it A, multiplied by the length, let's call it L. So the volume of this prism is the cross-sectional area times by the length. And that is the formula we're going to use. Now, we need to find this cross-sectional area here. And this cross-sectional area you can see is a triangle with a rectangle removed, right? So let's just kind of draw it separately. This triangle with a rectangle removed. So with the triangle, you can see that the perpendicular height, the vertical height here is 14, and the base is 19. And how do we find the area of a triangle? Well, the area of a triangle is equal to half times the base times by the height. So in this particular case, it's half times the base, which is 19, multiplied by the height. But remember, the height has to be perpendicular to the base, which it is. So this is 14. So we're times it by 14. And I need to do that on my calculator. It is 133. And we'll put in the unit later. But remember that we're from this triangle, we're cutting out this rectangle in the middle. Now, the rectangle has dimensions of 3 and 5. So its height is 5, its width is 3. So the area of the rectangle is equal to 5 times 3, which is just 15. And you can see that we're starting with the area of the triangle, and then we're cutting out this rectangle from it. So we can subtract that area, can't we, to cut it out. So the area of the cross-section of our prism, total area at the front, is equal to 133 minus 15, and that is 118. Okay, great. So now we know the area of this cross-section, the triangle with the rectangle removed, was 118. So the A is 118. And remember, we said here that the volume is the cross-sectional area multiplied by the length. So we said the length of this was the 7. So that's 7. So the volume of this prism is equal just to A times L, 118 times by 7. And I'm going to do that on my calculator. And that is 826. And we do need the unit now. Everything's in meters, so it's going to be meters cubed. So the final answer is 826 meters cubed. An alternative way we could have done this is to find the volume of the triangular prism. So just imagine that rectangle wasn't removed. We find the volume of the triangular prism. So we can do half times 19 times 14 to find this area of the cross-section, and times it by the 7 because we times the cross-sectional area times the length of the prism. But then from that volume, notice that we're cutting out a cuboid. We're boring out a cuboid from that triangular prism, and therefore we could subtract the volume of the cuboid. So that's the other way that we could have done this question.